Hello everybody, it is the Naughty Degen here coming at you with another video. In this video, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks for newer to intermediate Gods Unchained players that I think could be quite helpful in getting you started with the game and help you in the long term of the game to really help you build your decks and things like that. Now, the first tip I have for you is an interesting one, and that is to wait. Wait when the weekend ranks start. So the weekend ranks start pretty much on Friday. You know, it depends on your area, but generally speaking, Friday for most people. And you should wait to start playing. Wait until late Saturday, early Sunday. The reason is the really good players are usually the ones who hop on first. And so if you wait a little bit, you're going to be going against lesser competition. Now, I'm not saying do this forever. What keeps the game fun and what keeps the game competitive is going against good competition. But when you're just starting out and you're just, trying to figure things out, you don't really have a good deck built, definitely consider waiting on the weekend ranked until like late Saturday, early Sunday. And that way you can go against lesser competition. Obviously, the biggest equalizer on that is your rank, right? You're still that does equalize it a lot to where you're not gonna be going against the top 5 players if you're, a bottom ranked player. But to equalize it a little bit more, you could wait a day and a half to 2 days before starting the weekend ranked. And again, you don't have to do this forever, maybe do it for the first month or two to kind of just give yourself a little bit of a better shot at getting some expansion cards and things like that. Now, number 2 I have for you is don't be afraid to sell cards. Don't be afraid to sell cards. I generally recommend people to get good with one god in one deck before trying out other decks. And, maybe top players disagree with me on that, and maybe they're right, because I'm not a top player. I'm pretty much a mid-rank player, but I would recommend that. Definitely, from when I was a beginner and I tried, hopping around to different gods, stick to one god, stick to one deck until you get really good with that, until you're stacking cards every week, you're getting expansion packs every week that you could, sell for money and reinvest into other cards. That is what I would recommend if you're focused on playing this long term. And also, I feel like that kind of keeps it a little bit more fun, oddly enough, because it's like you can get really good with one deck, get really good with one card, and then after a few months you can move on to another one, and then another one, and then you rotate back, things like that. So I would definitely recommend that. I guess that's a 2-in-1 tip. 1, don't be afraid to sell cards and reinvest into other cards. And 2, don't be afraid to just stick to one god and just stick to what you're good at. The third and final tip I have for newer to intermediate players of Gods Unchained is don't be afraid, and this is something I was afraid to do when I first started playing, don't be afraid to copy other people's decks, okay? Now, I still feel a little bit weird copying someone's deck completely, so if I do copy or import a deck, I still will modify it a little bit. That's just because that's just how I am. But early on, I would not touch it. There's an import function where you could find decks online and import. There's like a code, you could import it, and it'll import all the cards that you have, and any other cards you don't have in that deck, you would basically just replace with other cards. And if you're really new, this could definitely help give you a fighting shot or a fighting chance. I don't recommend this, again, we're talking about beginner tips. I don't recommend doing this forever. Once you're like 6 months into the game, build your own deck, experiment, do things that are in the meta and go against the grain and try, contrarian decks that are out of the meta. That's what makes the game fun. And so I don't recommend copying decks, forever, but definitely when you're first starting off, there's a lot of like decently constructed decks online that you could find that you're going to have like 90% of the cards for, and if the couple cards you're missing, you just swap in another card that fits your strategy. And this could definitely help you get better at the game. And again, stack up those expansion packs every week. Even if you could get like 1 pack a week, those add up, so definitely consider doing that. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you like Immutable X, if you like GameFi, NFTs, and Gods Unchained for that matter, hit that subscribe button. I'm always covering content like that on the channel. I hope this video was helpful. It was definitely, I'm not an expert at the game. I'm not the top 5 player, right? But I am a mid-ranked player who, has some tips, who's also pretty new to the game myself. And I hope these tips will help you get better at the game and start stacking those expansion packs. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.